You know, sometimes it takes seeing things with your own eyes to really get it. Not long ago, Congressman Scott Peters took a ride-along with local police. What he saw inside those patrol cars, it honestly shocked him. Outdated tech, really outdated, as in technology that looked straight out of the 1970s. Imagine officers today trying to handle emergencies faster than ever, but with computers that move at a snail's pace, radios that struggle with basic signals, and systems that barely talk to each other. Scott Peters started his next committee hearing by thanking everyone for focusing on public safety communications. He didn't just talk politics, he laid out what's really at stake: your safety, my safety, everyone's safety. In his words, Congress holds the keys. The decisions made in those halls decide if first responders have the tools to save lives, or if they're stuck playing catch-up. Here's the deal. Big city departments, like San Diego's, face massive hurdles when it comes to keeping up with technology. It's not just about buying new gadgets, it's about making sure those gadgets work together, share info in real time, and don't crash when the pressure's on. Peters is clear. Federal investment isn't just smart, it's essential. Otherwise, officers keep facing emergencies with yesterday's tools. He's praised new legislation aimed at fixing this, like Next Generation 911 and H.R. 6505. These are laws designed to bring emergency communications into the 21st century. But there's a catch. Funding. The money that could have gone to these upgrades got sent elsewhere. Now Congress needs to find new ways to get it done, because for Peters, upgrading 911 systems isn't a maybe, it's a must. If you care about these kinds of critical issues, hit that subscribe button now. I'll keep you in the loop as these debates heat up. Industry experts back, Peters up. They say the networks we use every day, 4G, 5G, and soon 6G, can already support voice, text to 911, advanced location tracking, and more. With federal support, all that tech could be in every squad car, every fire truck, every ambulance. The bottom line? Many departments are still stuck with hardware and systems from decades ago, but with the right investments, they could leapfrog into the future in just a few years. Scott Peters wraps it up like this. Modernizing public safety communications isn't optional anymore. With Congress taking action and government working with private industry, first responders can finally get the tech they need to protect all of us. No exceptions. So, are we going to let our first responders work with relics, or give them the tools to keep us safe?
For 5 minutes for your question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Chairman, for holding this important hearing. Congress has a responsibility to empower our first responders locally with the tools they need to make informed decisions and keep our communities safe. Federal investments in public safety communications will provide police officers and firefighters in San Diego and across the country with the most up-to-date information, and this ensures that they're prepared to aid the community in times of trouble. One thing I'd say, too, about our police department is it's very large, and it's difficult to make big changes all at once, and so the federal participation in terms of funding is really a smart strategy for communities like ours, and I applaud the chairman for his legislation. One of the ways Congress can help public safety authorities be even more responsive is through Next Generation 911. So I'm glad to see we're considering this, H.R. 6505. We did have an opportunity to fund this from Spectrum auctions. The majority went a different way, and we'll have to find money for that, but I do appreciate the opportunity to discuss this. I had an opportunity recently to participate in a ride-along with my local police department, and one of the things that was most striking about it was how antiquated the technology was in the car and to respond to. And so I wanted to ask Captain Varnado and then Mr. Gerst, what sort of technological improvements have been made? What sort of upgrades would Next Generation 911 enable? What can we expect to see in the next 5 or 10 years as a result of this innovation?
As communications technology advances, we're going to see major changes. But right now, we're seeing very small steps. We need to have major change in our networks specifically so that it can run the types of technology that is needed in our systems.
Yeah, Mr. Gerst?
Thank you, Congressman. You know, for our part, the wireless industry, the connection to deliver the communications to the public safety community, we want to deliver services the way that consumers expect to be able to reach 911. That's through voice, that's through text, That's through using all of the great commercial applications we use on our devices almost every day. And so for the better part of the last decade, we've invested in these solutions. We can do multiple new things now that we didn't used to be able to do. We have text to 911 available nationwide by the providers and for the public safety community PSAPs that receive it. We have location-based services that allow us to pinpoint based on within a city block, within a few floors of a building. And we also are able now to route calls based on that information. Previously, we were doing that based on the cell site. That was resulting in some of the calls going to the wrong PSAP. And now we're using location-based information to make sure that all those calls are getting to the right PSAP. So all these technologies that are in our phones, we use every day, we're using them for public safety services too.
Right, I guess the hardware follows the network, right? So once the network is available, you expect people to respond with hardware that can go in each police car, for instance, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the availability of the innovation that we've seen on wireless networks, the investments in 5G technology, the investments, innovation in the devices that we get, almost on an annual basis, a new device that's got all these new features. We integrate all of those capabilities for public safety purposes too.
I'm proud to represent Qualcomm in my district. They're developing advanced public safety solutions leveraging 5G technology, and also Qualcomm is a central part of developing the 6G technology. That's direct voice, video, text communications, even when cellular networks are unavailable, as with regions that are devastated by hurricanes or by wildfires. Captain Vernado, are you hearing about technology that's out there that would be helpful for our first responders already for deployment? And how will Next Gen 911 expedite the ability of first responders to adopt emerging technologies?
I think the biggest is that we are currently using yesterday's technology.
Right.
We're utilizing technology from the 60s and 70s to run the 911 systems currently today. So there is innovation, but we've got to have that improvement in the networks so that that information can be shared, it can be interoperable, and interoperable is really the key word there. We've got to be able to share that data from beginning to end, as Congressman Ruiz said, that continuum of care. That's what we really need.
What's sort of the timeline of, if everything went great for you, how long do you see the network being in such a condition that we're really going to see different hardware in police cars?
I would find a hard time giving you a specific timeline. I would say in the next 2 to 5 years, we would see a total transformation of that. We're already seeing it with AI coming. ABCO and ICERT are working together on AI innovation and things. So I think it's coming.
My time has expired, Mr.